All righty, welcome to Romera Records podcast. Today we have on Ryan. It's been a minute.
It's been a little minute, my man.
Yeah, it's been a while. This is the first podcast we've done since our first podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that was, when we meet, 21 or 2020?
I feel like it was 2021.
2021.
Actually, it might have been 2020. Was
I
it
feel like
pre-vid?
Because when you came over my house, you were asking, do I need to wear a mask or not?
So it's post March.
Yeah. So it might have been like the fall or the summer of 2020.
So we went from one podcast to where we didn't know each other to the second podcast where we're best friends.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
That's a while. So I guess I would like for us to cover everything from when we started the Come to DMG album until now, and which I want to talk about that stuff. But also, like, until me and you get into settings like this, there's a lot of other things that we could talk about that we just normally don't, because we're both busy people. So the only time I get you is if we're doing something.
Yeah.
If we're doing something together. Anyways, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But let's start with, what was it? So for everybody who doesn't know, the Come to DMG album, if you're living under a rock like Patrick Starr, we released that this year, April this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost 2024. That's crazy.
And we basically spent all of last year recording it, mixing it, mastering it, stuff like that. And it was definitely an experience I'm really glad that we did. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think that if more people saw what we did, they would probably be like holy crap, what made y'all want to do that? And how did you do that? Because it could have been a lot easier, I guess, people wise, certain people knowing what they're doing and whatnot, and then making it more organized a certain way. Because the way I wanted to organize it ended up being more complicated than what people needed, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I guess how did you feel? Far as musically wise about the album, did you feel obviously the goal was rap music, right? But did you feel like it was knowing who the artists are? Do you feel like it was a good representation of them, or do you feel like man, I wish that person that did this kind of music it's something else?
Overall, I love most of the album. I think there's a couple songs in there that could have been a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But overall, I'm super stoked that we got to showcase all the different artists for Memphis and show that there's a different side of Memphis than what the popular music sound is.
Yeah.
And I think we did a really good job of showing people how much different stuff we can shove in one project, and it still all be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm super happy about it. I think all the people in the album were great. For the most part, it was a super enjoyable experience. So. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. I do think spoiler alert, I want to do a club / twerk song album.
I'm in. Little Tino will be on the front.
Yeah. It's going to be probably 5 songs, and I'm literally just putting this out just to put it out. I don't think I want to do another Come to DMG. Everybody wants a volume 2, volume 3,
maybe a couple years from now.
Yeah, I think I really wanted that to just be a one-off.
Really?
That's why that's why I wanted to do all that we did, the concert, and we put the articles on the website and all that kind of stuff. I just don't know if I want to do that again.
I think if there's a time where we have more people, more money, more free time, and just more a bigger audience, I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But I think for where we're at right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense to just jump into something like that again.
Yeah.
But with what you're talking about, that sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah. If we had like what you were saying and the platform to get it out, then yeah, but like I really wanted to use that album as like our like we told you so to everybody.
Yeah.
Like we could do this. And you know, I'm halfway joking when I post this. I've been posting I think 2 or 3 times. I'll say like it's been 5 months and Come to DMG is still the greatest album.
Yeah.
I'm still being serious though. Like have you heard an album better than the Come to DMG album from Memphis? Like the person is from Memphis.
No, I feel like a lot of the albums that come out of here are very like they're very like the same song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm listening to the same song with different lyrics and a different beat.
And I'm not even talking about just rap music. Like
All music?
yeah, I haven't heard any other artists really, which I don't know a ton. Like I know a bunch of artists in Memphis who don't do rap, but like they aren't putting music out like that.
Yeah.
They're putting out music like one single a year or like an album every like 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, not that many people drop around here. So even rock music, metal, pop, whatever type of music people, they don't really drop music like that around here other than rappers. Like rappers are dropping music all the time.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, so I don't know. Who's probably like your favorite band or artist that's not a rapper around here?
From here?
Yeah.
I don't even know, dude. There's so many.
There's a lot.
I feel like I'm going to get held to my answer. I like all these bands.
I mean, just name 5.
Name 5 bands.
Bands or people that make music that aren't rappers.
I mean, Anaphylactic Shock, I've worked with them. Kill Command, they're all metal bands. East of Eden. Trying to think of someone else.
Now, Kill Command dropped an album this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did Anaphylactic Shock. And then maybe East of Eden did too. I can't remember if that was last year or not.
Okay.
Time has just passed.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
might have been last year, but I feel like it was this beginning of this year.
Yeah, I feel like you remember when I came to the studio one time and recorded some footage of you and Kill Command? That feels like last year or like the very beginning.
No, that was definitely this year.
Yeah, it was probably like 4 months ago.
I feel like it was April or May.
Yeah, it was probably around then.
Yeah.
It feels like forever ago though.
But
Even Southbound Beretta, like that feels like 3 years ago.
that feels like an eternity. Well, that actually might have been close to 3 years ago. Maybe 2.5.
Yeah.
Because that was like right after COVID, I feel like.
But even after like, remember like all the contract talks that we
Yeah.
had with them? Like that feels forever ago.
Well, that whole project took forever to do.
Yeah.
It took like them 2 trips coming down here to do it. And then in the end, they only used 2 of like the 8 or 9 songs we did. So I don't know if they're going to use those other songs in the future or what their plan is, but
Yeah.
yeah. And they're not even from here. They're from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So, but no, they just released a new song, or they're about to release a new song, I think, here soon. But I'm excited for that. Yeah, there's not like there's not as big of like a rock or metal scene as there is like a rap scene here.
Oh yeah. For
Obviously,
sure.
but
Yeah. I wish there was more though. Like when you have variety and diversity in people's like taste in music, it allows you to be more creative.
Yeah.
Like when everybody's doing the same thing, it's hard to be creative. That's why like some of your biggest hits are usually like 2 people you wouldn't think would make music together. Like random big hits. Like they'll be from like what was it? Like Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar did a song together. Like 2 mega stars just deciding to do a song together. Jay-Z and Linkin Park when they did Encore.
I remember that. That was the biggest thing in freaking high school, dude.
Yeah. So like when you have these 2 random, different contrasting styles and you put them together, like it's almost guaranteed to be a hit.
So I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I've been working with White Sosa and he's about to do a country project. And I think that'll do really well because I don't think he's ever done anything like that. So he's super excited about it and I'm excited for him because I think that'll be cool to see like a rapper try something that's kind of outside his ballpark, you know what I mean? And see what people think.
Yeah, one thing I love about Ryan is he just said, I don't know if I'm supposed to say and then says it anyway. I have so many people that I'll bring on this podcast and they'll be like, oh, I ain't going to talk about that. I'm just like,
well, I'll ask him after the podcast and we can edit it out if I'm not supposed to say it.
no, we release it. But yeah, that's cool. But I hope he doesn't I hope he doesn't go down that road just to say he went down that road. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I hope he genuinely.
No, I think like his roots. That's like kind of where like he lived. Like when he was a kid, he lived kind of in the country. It was kind of like part of his his roots or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I have been noticing a lot of black people getting into country music.
really,
Yeah, a lot.
like making music or just listening to it.
Making it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, they're good at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, black people are usually really good at whatever music thing they choose to do. But I'm all about, like, do it for the love of it. Don't do it because it's just going to happen to make you money. Because that's going to cause issues. Like, country people, like, rap people take rap serious or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not like, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, country's like
it's a culture.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, it's a culture, which rap is too. Like, it's people's.
But I think rap has kind of gotten away from like the hardcore like purists.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it's like that anymore. Country is still kind of, even country's fading away with like the pop country that's out now.
Yeah.
Which I like pop country, so I'm not talking shit on it, but it's definitely not like what it used to be.
Yeah.
Which it's not going to be. Everything evolves. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I understand what you're saying, how people can be very defensive, like, oh, you're not this, you're not that. It's like, I know I'm trying something new.
Yeah. Which rap and other genres are going through the same thing. Like, I'm sure Skrillex is screaming at people talking about hyper pop.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a branch off from what they were doing.
They talked mad crap to him when he first started making music.
Oh, really?
He was a screamer in a metal band.
I did not know
and
that.
I can't remember what exactly happened, but I think his vocal cord, like something happened to happen. I think he had a surgery, couldn't scream anymore. So he's like, okay, I need to pivot. And he went into electronic music.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's other artists that kind of gave that genre like life, but he's the one who really like made that genre what it is.
Yeah. I would say Skrillex, maybe, was it Dead Mouse?
Dead Mouse is like staple. I mean, he's been around a lot longer than Skrillex, but
yeah, those guys were really the forerunners for that. Dang, I can't think of the name of the genre.
Dubstep, like
Dubstep,
Dead Mouse is more of like house music.
Okay.
But even before that, you have like Daft Punk, which is in like the 90s, where they're using like synthesizers and all this cool stuff to make like analog electronic music, you know what I mean? But it's really cool now that we're getting older and we've seen like genres progress.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time something new happens, you have all these people that love it. And you have all these people who are like, this is just noise.
Yeah.
It's like, no, bro, this is just how things happen. They change and evolve.
Yeah. Well, like, even electronic music was a thing. I think it was like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
And then that evolved into like the dubstep we have now. And I think I caught the front end of trap step because I think I listened to that music on YouTube. Like, it's a bunch of like, it was like that visualizer that would like pulse and whatnot. I listened to some of that. And
Every party ever.
And then I think I lost the tail end of it. And then like hyperpop, I think, is like a few years old, maybe like 5 years old.
Is it even that old?
I don't know.
They started putting like dubstep and metal, and I remember that was like an awesome time in life.
Okay.
So I remember I heard like the first like dubstep drop in a metal song, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you can get two different contrasting sounds and put them together, like, people love that.
Yeah. Because you take two different like types, like a dubstep person and a metalhead are two different dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you combine them. You just like have two different fan bases. You put them together.
Yeah.
They find, the metalheads start to like the electronic music, and the dubstep guys are like, dang, metal's not bad either.
Yeah. That's why I like tell artists, don't get a feature from somebody who sounds just like you.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you just have the same person on twice.
Yeah.
Get somebody who like doesn't sound like you, because that way you're going to have like a different like if you have a higher pitched voice, get somebody with like a hella deep voice.
Yeah.
Or if you have a deep voice, get somebody with a higher pitched voice.
Well, you're going to get different fans. Like, chances are, if you have someone who sounds just like you, like if you're big enough, like you're probably gonna have the same fans they have.
Yeah.
But if you get someone from kind of a different, not too different, but you get a little bit different of a ballpark, you're gonna get different types of fans.
Yeah.
Just because it's a different genre.
Yeah. And what Ryan's saying with like be different but not too different, you don't want the contrasting person to their fan base to not like your music.
Yeah. This guy ruined the song.
Yeah. Because I think there was like Didi 416 Didi was telling me about. I think it was Kevin Gates, and I don't know if it was Morgan Wallen or if it was somebody else, but it was a type of person that makes like the pop type country, and it was like Kevin Gates and them.
Are you talking about? I don't think it was Kevin Gates. It was I know what song you're talking about. It wasn't Kevin Gates, but it was Morgan Wallen and some other rapper. And God, what is his name? It's gonna drive me nuts. But yeah, it was him, and that song actually did really well though.
I think Morgan and Lil Durk did one together.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one I saw was Kevin Gates and somebody. I don't know who it was. But
it was weird though.
And it sounded good.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that country artist's fan base will welcome like Kevin Gates or even listen to any of his other music.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like pop country people could like rap.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both genres.
Yeah.
But I know I'm like not like most people. I literally like almost everything.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's good. But
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to work for them. So, I mean, and that song got like so many freaking plays. So they were just probably like, we got to get a hit of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, so with Come to DMG, obviously, as I said, I wanted it to be like the best rap album around. But it would be cool to do something that was like a multi-genre album, which I don't even know if you can really do that because, you know, like when you submit music, you need to put like what the genre is.
I don't know.
So that would be pretty wild. I guess you would have to just, I don't know. That would be like a mixtape that you'd have to just kind of put out to people.
Yeah.
That'd
be hard
wild.
to do.
Yeah. And it'd probably be hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Well,
like, even like I remember back in like Warped Tour days, you'd have these, they made these like albums with like, these bands would basically cover like a song. So a metal band would cover like a song in a pop genre, or like a pop rock band would cover like some song that was like not a, you know what I mean? Just we'd be weird, but they put all these bands on an album, and like it was pretty cool. But sometimes it'd like you get like a really heavy band doing a metal cover or something, then you get like a pop punk band, and you'd be like, sounds kind of weird to go from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what you're saying would be even different than that because you're going from like you could do like a rock thing and then like a
country,
rap, and a funk,
pop,
and then like, you know what I mean. So
that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, I think people like us might be into it, and obviously the artist. But I think as a listener, you'd be like, "What the heck is going on?"
Yeah. I mean, it's the curse of liking multiple types of music is you want to kind of do it all. Like I did that. I recorded that song for Flirting with Sincerity. And that was really fun. Great learning experience, like all the stuff. I actually started that with all the equipment we have. And then I had the VSR8. And then that's when it went bad. And I had to switch to the Apollo.
Dang, that was crazy.
Yeah. I did that mid-recording their album.
So for those who don't know, we had an epic flood.
Yeah.
December 24th of 2022.
Yeah.
And we like lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But
we, in the end, are very lucky and very fortunate and got everything like replaced. But it was a crazy time here.
Yeah.
I was way more stressed out than Jackson. But
yeah, because I was like, I mean, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I was like, I got to go there and fix it all. So,
yeah. Well, I think with my life circumstances at the time, it made sense. But looking back, I'm like, dang, you just calm the heck down. Like,
I mean, it was definitely cool, like seeing the process of what, you know, how you handle these types of situations. Because like me and Ryan, we've been kind of doing our own thing with like our personal business, like Romera Records and Uproar. So like with Damage, we've had to embark on new experiences that we haven't had to as like business people. Like if you own a business in like drop shipping, like all you do is sit at home and click on a mouse and you don't actually like have to run a business for real. Like you might package stuff up at home or somebody's doing all that stuff for you. But like there's a lot of stuff you aren't doing that other businesses actually have to do. And like we're starting to get in that territory of like, you know, talking to other people or working with companies and doing like the insurance claim, like having to learn about that kind of stuff. So it was pretty interesting.
That's a good way to put it.
I mean, it wasn't fun by any means, but it was definitely a learning experience. I'm glad we were able to handle that.
Yeah, I think we did a
well.
great job. I mean, could have been worse.
And still had you up and running. Like we had some of the stuff out there in the outside the control room.
Yeah, I can't even explain this to you guys, but basically the whole booth was flooded. So we took everything and put it in the other room. And I'm so grateful my clients worked with me on this. But we had people like recording in our like refrigerator, like snack room, because it was like the one dry room in the entire building. But it worked out. And we only had to do that for like a month though.
Yeah.
We got stuff taken care of pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I've been very thankful to work with you as far as like you're a very let's just figure out how we can get this done type of person. And like that right there in itself is super valuable. Because if you work with a person who just like can't think through situations and they just like, well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's like, me either, but let's figure it out. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think I've always been that way. I think my dad probably had a lot to do with that. He's always just, with sports too, you got to figure something out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Especially me being as competitive as I am. Like, I always want to win. And you can't win unless you figure out a way to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I tell people all the time, I can tell if you play sports or not just by watching you work.
Yeah.
Because your decision making, your thought process, how well you just like think through things, how you deal with other people, how you deal with confrontation.
Yes.
Like all those things get knocked out in sports.
Yeah. It's like we got to learn to work together.
Yeah. You learn confrontation skills, you learn teamwork, leadership, decision making. Like if you play football, basketball, whatever, like sport, baseball for sure.
Yeah.
Like you literally have a tenth of a second or less to make a decision on, are you going to bunt? Are you going to smack this out home run? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So that's like, I can tell a lot about you if you play sports or not.
Yeah. But yeah, so what we're doing now, we talking about what we're doing now?
Yeah, sure.
So what we're doing now is we're kind of pivoting to content creation. We're still going to do all the music stuff. We're super stoked on all that. But we're looking for something to just kind of diversify. So we're going to start making content for businesses and stuff like that. And I think I'm pretty stoked on it. What about you?
Yeah, I am. And again, it's another thing where it's just like, let's just figure it out. Let's just do the work and see what happens. And this is definitely something that it just takes time to just get it right and to do it well. But I think it's coming along.
So Jackson and I it's probably taking us a little bit longer than I guess some people, just because we want to make sure we do it right. And we want to make sure that we don't want to just give you crap, because I think that's why a lot of people work with us, is because they see that we're not just trying to get you in and out.
Yeah.
And we're applying the same thing to the businesses we work with. Like, we want to give you the best thing you've ever gotten in your entire life.
Yeah.
So if that takes us a little bit longer to figure out how to make sure all that happens correctly, like, it's fine to take another month or two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like been an experience where I know that it can progress, and we're just kind of like watching it progress. I've seen so many like companies and like people when they're like building their company. I'm just like watching like what they do and like, okay, what did they do here? What did they do there? And so something that actually makes me feel good about like how we started and where we're at right now is like, I don't see many companies expand really well or like grow really well. They kind of have like, a lot of people start out fantastic. Like, it's like they really started their company when they already knew they were going to have success. And then
most people aren't like me, and they just jump right into
Yeah. They don't just like, all right, let me see if this works.
Yeah.
They already know they have success. Then they start the company. And then like after that, it's like they just kind of stay stagnant. Like they already had a good progress from the beginning.
Well, I totally understand that. I mean, the first time I started my own business back in like 2016, I was like a personal trainer, and I did it online and stuff like that. I was also doing the engineering, but that was my main source of income. And I had no other job, and I had tons of clients. Everyone loved me, but I got complacent because it gets to a point where it's like so easy and you kind of fall into the routine, just like at a job where it's like, oh, this is what I do today.
Yeah.
But when you own your own business or you're an entrepreneur, like you have to constantly be getting new clients, getting new business. And I didn't realize the importance of that. So like I'd have a client drop off that week and another 2 clients drop off next month. And then after a while, it's like I only have like 5, 6 people I'm working with. So that it's like a slow fall off that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why I realize now how important it is to just not be complacent and not let life, because life is going to always try to screw you. You know what I mean? It's not personal.
Yeah.
It's just how this freaking rock works. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So you always have to be doing things to either move in a better direction or keep getting stuff that you're already doing now. And I think the thing that helps me the most is I really try to be grateful for what's happening. I'm always trying to be grateful for my clients because I know how finite all this is, but how like easy it would be just to go back to some job I absolutely hate. So I try to remember that like I'm super fortunate for what is happening and I'm just super grateful that I get to do all this.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, this is a dream, you know what I mean? Like, I literally get to make music all day and shoot videos and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if you would have told that to my 18-year-old self, he would have been like, that's nuts. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think a lot of people wish they could do. And I think that's something that I forget a lot is what I know. And it's really hard to explain to people like all the things that I know how to do because it's like I know it took me 31 years to get to this point, but at the same time, I feel like I actually started. Let's see, when did I start making music? I think I
feel like a year or 2 before I met you, no?
I think it was like 2017. That was the first time I ever like started learning music.
Okay.
So I actually started learning on FL Studio, which I want to talk to you about, like DAWs and stuff like this. Cause I was listening to what's his name, Help Me Devon, and he has like this podcast with a few guys, and they were talking about DAWs, but we'll get into that. But anyways, I started with FL Studio and just like making beats and whatnot, and then my friend Leek taught me like about engineering and whatnot. Then I just like self-taught. And just like started watching tons of YouTube videos and basically just learned that way and like learning from other people like you and other engineers that I worked with. So that's pretty much how like I got into music. But it's for video. I wanted to shoot a video with some guy when I was in North Dakota, and he charged like $750 for music videos, and I was like, okay. And then I was going to save up to do it. And then Rachel was like, why don't you just buy a camera? And I was like, dang, like a camera.
Keep talking.
Like a camera's about the same price. And then I could shoot unlimited videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So we bought a camera. I shot like one video, I think, while I was up there, maybe. If I didn't, I started my first video like here. Actually, I'm pretty sure my first video, no, not here, when I was in Alabama. I think I shot my first video in Alabama and then just started learning about camera stuff just by watching YouTube. So moral of the story is if you don't know anything about something, like learn from other people and watch YouTube and you can literally start a business.
Yeah. I think that's why we get along so well is we're both the type of people who are like, yeah, we could pay someone to do this or I could just learn the skill and not have to ever pay someone to do that.
Yeah.
No, obviously there's stuff we still want to pay for people. And I think as we like do more and more stuff, we see more value in doing it. Mm-hmm. But I also think like we just want to learn stuff and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to worry about someone else doing it. You know what I mean?
And learning it helps you understand the value of it.
This is why I always tell my clients like, yeah, download, a DAW and get like a cheap little setup and just learn how to do this. It's not going to sound good, but you'll understand a heck of a lot more and it'll help you with your songwriting.
Yeah.
Because you'll understand like it's not just waveform. People, like when we're recording all the time, our inside joke is like people saying something like, bring me back to this bar. And we'll be like, the words aren't on the screen.
Yeah.
And then he'll always be like, well, there's going to be a plugin invented. But
until we get there.
Yeah, until we get there. We always joke about that, people don't know. So if you can figure that out, it'll help you as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's so many things that in our realm of work, it's difficult to get people to understand like how you work, because every engineer is different. Like you're never going to find two engineers who like record your vocals the same or mix your vocals exactly the same. If there is, then that's like the miraculous, you're identical twin type thing. But it's very rare two people even use the same plugins, the same anything. So
plus, like, it depends on like how are they feeling that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's days where I'm like have the most energy in the world. It's like I want to help you with every single bar. Then there's days like, okay, let's just do this. You know what I mean? I still give my best effort, but it's like there's definitely days where it's like I'm not gonna say as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's something I try to work on as an engineer. But engineering is definitely a very exhausting thing mentally, which sounds crazy because you're sitting at a desk. But every time I talk to my engineer friends, they're like, "Yeah, it's draining."
Yeah.
You work like 10 hours in a row, and you're just like completely exhausted mentally at the end of the day.
Yeah. Especially if you're like, as a job, you're having to help somebody else.
Yeah, because you're literally creating someone's sound and like helping them take their personality and put it on a track. You know what I mean? That's really hard.
If you were just mixing, I think it'd be a lot different.
Be a lot easier.
If you were just mixing and mastering for like hours,
yeah, that'd be a lot easier.
That'd be way different than recording.
Yeah, I could do that all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're like someone's really looking for help and you're trying to help them, like it takes a toll for sure.
I was like, why didn't you just do well when you came here?
Yeah, just do better, bro.
Yeah, just do better.
I don't get it.
Oh, let me get my do better box out and just give it to you.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. It's something that you have to, as you were saying, like you got to kind of be prepared for that day. If you're not feeling it, like the person's probably might know if they know you as a person. And I always tell people like me, I'm not very energetic when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I get like really focused and I'm like focusing on like the sounds and stuff like that. I'm not very fun, but like when I'm done, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I kind of like loosen up. But like in the recording stage and a little bit into the mixing, not so much, but I'm like hella focused and just like,
that's something I've had to work on. I'm a lot the same way. I just, start staring at that screen and then you forget that someone's in the other room, like trying to perform.
Yeah.
And you forget that, like, pushing them and like helping them with their morale along the way, how much of a difference it makes is crazy. But until you like figure that out for yourself on how to do that, it's just like leading someone. You know what I mean? You're just trying to lead your artist into making the best performance they got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are some people who just do it, but most of us don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you start getting frustrated because you start screwing up. And you're like, man, I suck. And just having someone there be like, no, you got this, man. Like, just keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And pushing them on definitely helps. But it does take, you know what I mean? You got to remind yourself, like, got to help that person. You know what I mean?
So let's get into the doll stuff. So this is crazy, but in that podcast of Help Me Devon, there's a guy who says FL Studio is the best DAW.
Okay.
I am intrigued on. So they and as I'm listening to them talk, I'm like, okay, what does best mean? Like, define that for me, which I don't think they might have. I probably just didn't get that far into the podcast because it was like hurting my head just listening to them talk. Because like one guy was FL Studio. I think two guys are Pro Tools, and then one guy is it's like none of those. I think he's using a DAW that I like haven't even heard of before. I can't remember.
Reaper or something like that.
I don't remember what it was, but what is your take, I guess, because you're a Pro Tools guy. So like, what is your take on the current state of DAWs, period, and then also Pro Tools on like how satisfied are you with Pro Tools in 2023?
So I kind of look at DAWs like religion. You know what I mean? Like everyone's got one.
Yeah.
And there's not, personally, I don't think there's a right DAW. You know what I mean? Like I do think Pro Tools is probably in more commercial studios around the country, around the world. So if you were trying to work at a studio, it'd probably be best to learn Pro Tools. But like, I think if you figure out a program you like and you know how to use it and you know all the commands and you're fast, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, like, if you can't use your program well, you're not going to make good music.
Yeah.
just how I was telling you the other day, I was trying to use Logic and I was trying to write a song and I didn't know what I was really doing. So I got frustrated and stopped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't help your artist if you're frustrated with your program. So
Yeah.
I don't really buy into the whole like there's a best program or best DAW, but I like Pro Tools. I think it's gotten a lot better recently with all since they went to subscription. They've been doing a lot more updates, and the updates are free with the subscription. So I love it. I don't really have any complaints.
Do you think it should be so? As far as pricing wise, do you think it's not? You think that they could charge you more and give you more? Do you think that they're charging the right amount for what they give you? Do you think it should be cheaper? What do you think?
No, I feel like the price is good. I mean, you get a bunch of plugins with like the studio version, or I don't remember if I have the studio or which one I have, but you get a bunch of free stuff. I'm pretty sure they have like classes on there. They might have some Pure Mix stuff on there involved, which is super cool. I mean, I don't really need any of that stuff, like the extra plugins, because we have all the other stuff we use. But I think if you're just starting out and you just have just that, like you get a bunch of stuff and you can work with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see a ton of value in it. I think it's like $30. I'm not sure, but it works for me, and I'm happy with it.
And you might be thinking I'm crazy to ask, like, should they charge you more? But, like, that's something that I've been noticing is, like, there are some subscriptions I have that I wish they would charge me more and give me more because I want more out of it. And then also, like, some subscriptions, they don't charge you a lot, but they also don't give you a lot. And I'm like, I wish they would just, like, charge me, like, $5 more and give me more. Like, we were talking about the license thing.
Yeah.
Like, charge me more, but give me more value,
I would happily
too.
pay $5 or $10 more so I could use that at home.
Yeah. Like with Waves, so if you buy the Waves subscription, you only get one license. So I'm like, charge me more and give me six. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, give me 3 licenses.
Yeah.
Like, I wish you would charge me more and give me more.
Because it's just not realistic to have one license. Like,
Yeah.
like especially in 2023, like everyone has 2 rigs. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
At least 2.
Yeah. If you're a engineer for a living, you probably have a studio and like a home setup.
3 would be perfect for me because then I could have the house, the iMac, and then I could use the laptop when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
So 3 would be sick. I'd be happy with 2 though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, a road setup is very helpful in specific cases. Like if you aren't doing it often, then it will come in clutch for you, but you're not going to be hurting without it. You're like,
yeah,
dang, I wish I had that. But yeah, I mean, if you're a road engineer, then that would be super clutch.
yeah. Like when I'm going up to Indy this next weekend, it'd be cool to have the computer.
Yeah.
Just to have all my stuff. And, if I need to move something over to their computer, it'd be easy.
Yeah.
Instead of having to like try to bring like a session file and hoping it all lines up, and then you miss a file or something, you're like, crap.
Yeah.
I don't have my stuff.
So I'm the really niche person who I've really fell in love with Luna. It, to me, is the best DAW to use for myself. So as I said, I started out with the FL Studio. Still looking back, knowing what I know now, I'm like, dang, FL Studio has this in it. Like, that's pretty crazy. But I think ever since I learned Pro Tools, I have not used FL Studio to like mix vocals, like record mix vocals since I've learned Pro Tools. So I basically went Pro Tools, FL Studio, Pro Tools, Luna. And as of right now, I don't see myself going to anything else ever, but obviously, in the future, something else might come out. But yeah, Luna's just at it for me. There are things that Pro Tools has 2 things that are just phenomenal. One is that Verify, and then also, I think it's that reverb thing.
The reverse deverb thing?
Yeah, that deverb. Like, those 2 things, if you could get those in, like, another DAW, would be amazing. Like,
So he's talking like the audio suite.
yeah, just being able to use Audio Suite where you could like render down in the DAW, like that's amazing.
Yeah, it makes things so freaking easy.
Yeah.
It saves you infinite amount of time.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd have to like bounce a clip and then just like put it back in.
It takes the fun out of like whatever you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because you can do like a real quick like tape drop and you're like, this is sick.
Yeah.
But then if you have to like make a new track, drag a plug-in on it.
Yeah.
Freaking do the effect, render the effect. You're like, bro, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Exactly. I've been there. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, how can I in Luna create a tape stop? So I'm like looking up all these YouTube videos on all these other like tape plugins. And then I'm like figuring out how to do it. And I do. Like, I figure out how to do it 2 different ways. But I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to click a button.
Yeah, bring it into Pro Tools and then bring it back.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really wish other DAWs would adapt. And that's something that blows my mind is how do you not just look at who's doing the best, which is Pro Tools. I think FL Studio and Pro Tools are the most widely known DAWs. Logic might be in the mix, but
Ableton's pretty big too.
Yeah, Ableton's
it used
pretty
to.
big,
I don't know if it still does, but it used to come with like a bunch of different MIDI devices.
I think it still does. Yeah.
Like I got Ableton something with my machine controller for free. I know a couple producers who use Ableton all the time
Yeah.
for just beat making and stuff like that.
Yeah. But I think that those 2 DAWs, if you would just take what's in there and then just apply it to a new created DAW.
Like a super DAW.
Yeah. Like, so Studio One, I think is pretty cool. Have you ever opened it before?
I feel like I've opened it with one of my client sessions.
It looks similar to Luna as far as like looks kind of futuristic, looks like very colorful, bright, stuff like that. But it kind of performs like Logic.
Really?
And so I downloaded the free trial and started using it. And I was like, this reminds me of Logic. I mean, I hate Logic.
Yeah. We've both been trying to figure out Logic, but
Yeah, some people say it's super easy, but that might be our problem is like our DAWs are like Androids to us.
Yeah.
And then we're like trying to swap over to iPhone. It's like, why are you doing everything for me?
yeah.
Like,
That's a good
I don't know
point.
what to do now.
Yeah. It's like I usually have to do a couple more things here.
Yeah. Well, I think Logic is like, nope, we're going to make this as simple as possible. You don't have to do anything. And it's like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, even the way I set my sessions up, it is not simple.
No.
Like if you were to look at one of my sessions, you'd be like, "What?" But in my head, it's like, this is so simple.
Yeah.
And I have so much control over every little detail.
Yeah.
Because in my head, like if I can't control it, that's not cool.
Yes.
That makes it complex.
Yeah.
Then I have to go to more links to fix it.
Exactly.
But if like I have everything at my fingertips, like, okay, this is easy. It looks confusing, but it's really simple.
Same thing with, what was it called? BandLab?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. BandLab is kind of like that. It's a very like, all right, here you go. Just use this. It's not very figure this out. It's a very, here you go.
Straightforward,
Yeah. If you get the chance, I would check it out because one, as like you had a client, if they're like, oh man, I was doing this in BandLab, blah, 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 you could tell them like, hey, don't do that or do this instead. And then that will help you out. But
Right.
yeah, and I do think it's a very important. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't waste your time learning every single DAW.
Yeah, for real.
Because the chances are you're not going to need all that. Will it be cool? Yeah. It's kind of like if you live in America in like, I don't know, Memphis or like Millington, Tennessee. Like you don't need to learn Chinese, Japanese, and Portuguese, stuff like that. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Is it cool? Sure. But the chance of you using it, not really. You need to live in like Los Angeles or New York City where people are speaking those languages.
You're just wasting your time.
Exactly. So I'm really trying to learn like either 2 or 3. Like I already know Pro Tools. There's still a lot of stuff I don't know about Pro Tools. But
Dude, same.
I know enough to do well. And then Luna. So those are my 2. I would like to learn Logic just because it's on like every Apple computer. The people who use Apple probably use Logic. But other than that, like I don't really care to learn all of them because I'm not going to use them.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time and money.
Yeah. And I know my way around FL Studio for making beats, but that's about it. Like I'm not going to go into any other DAW for that reason. But
yeah, I feel that.
so I do think I really do think about the AI going forward with plugins and DAWs. I do think they're going to do like captions or subtitles or something while you're recording because they already do that with like even closed caption. So if I upload this video to YouTube and you hit closed caption, it'll work instantly,
Right.
Because it's guessing what I'm saying, and that's how even DaVinci. I think I need to show you this in DaVinci.
Yeah, I was gonna do that on something I was doing the other day.
How to do subtitles.
Yeah.
So it takes like a minute
Yeah, that's nothing.
to render. So I think they're going to end up doing that in DAWs. I also think mastering is going to be more widely used.
There's already a lot of programs that are kind of like that, like AI
Does
mastering.
Slate have one?
Slate just came out with one.
Okay.
I was gonna use it the other day, but I was just downloading all that stuff, and I saw it and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But basically, you just go to their website, you log in, you drag your track into their program, and I think you get like 3 to 5 per month or week for free.
That goes with your subscription?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, it always feels weird to do like AI mastering. I don't know.
So-
Is this like Isotope has like versions of that?
Yeah.
What was the other program we were using?
Lander.
Lander, yeah.
So that's why I was going to talk about the Lander one. Sounded really good, and again, so when I sent my monster song to Audio Animals or Animal Audio, whatever it is, I didn't like what they did to it. I didn't like their master. It sounded too loud. It sounded very distorted. I just didn't like it. And I liked the Lander one. Lander's mastering sounded phenomenal.
That was a free program, wasn't it?
No, I had to pay for it. I had to pay for that one render. I think it was like $30, $20 or something like that. I think I paid Audio Animals like 75 or more. I can't remember how much I paid them, but it might have been 100 and something. But anyways, I did like theirs. As we said, Isotope has one. Slate apparently has one. I think FL Studio just got one.
Really?
It's in the DAW. They have their own master.
Maybe the hi-hats I get won't be so loud now.
Who else
They'll
has
still
one?
be loud.
Yeah, they're still be loud. Somebody else has one too, but it's becoming very normal, and I hope it's really good. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh man, they're ruining mastering music.
Yeah.
I hope it's really good, because that will save time and effort on doing that kind of stuff that you could do anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
When we're able, like me and you were talking about this, like a good plugin is a plugin that you don't have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just use it and it's just good. LA2A. You got 2 dials.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Sounds fantastic. No, it's hard to screw up.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're just gain reduction to 20,
Yeah.
it's really hard to screw that plugin up. Like, it sounds great on everything.
I love that plugin. That is one thing I kind of want, a real one. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, we don't need it.
And it's also like, do I really want to spend? So if you get the, I think the WA2A is like $800 or something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty good. Like,
Really?
I've heard from people like all of Warm Audio stuff is fantastic. And then I've also heard people are like, oh, it's a piece of crap. So, who knows?
If you want to sponsor a video and send us one.
What else? They have the Audioscape one. It's like I think it's about like 1,500, maybe less.
Yeah, I think that was the one I was looking at.
And then who else has one? Stam's got one.
Yeah.
That's about 1,500 or less.
Still waiting on a stand microphone.
Yes.
That we're very excited about.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of them out there, but it's just like, do I really want to spend that money on a
The
hardware?
plugin sounds pretty good.
Yeah, the plugin sounds fantastic. So it's like, why am I spending
Yeah.
$1,000 on something that I technically already got?
Yeah. We got like 4 different versions of it.
Yeah. So, but I do think AI and a lot of other things are going to be very helpful for people like you and me. I think the gap of helpfulness is not as high as it would be for somebody who knows nothing.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything, it's going to be super helpful.
Well, and the people who would benefit the most from that are going to be sending stuff that's probably not very good to those things. Mm-hmm. And realistically, like you and I know both, like if you send something that's not very good to a mastering engineer, it's not going to come out like you just hit the, you know what I mean, got
Correct.
a Grammy.
Yeah.
It's still just going to be a shiny piece of crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I do worry about, that people are going to think that it's going to be like, oh, I don't need a studio now. It's like, well, you still do. You know what I mean?
Pump the brakes, man.
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of stuff I mix remotely, and like, I wish I could record 99% of it over. You know, that's not the case. I just have to work with what I got.
Yeah.
It's like, I know the recordings I do are great, but a lot of people, you know, they just record stuff with like $100 mic, and they think like, oh, he'll just mix it and make it sound amazing. It's like, I'll make it sound better, but still $100 mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's another thing that I've been thinking about is like the price of things. I'm not too concerned about the price of things anymore, just because now that we've started using like more high end gear, like you were working with the JBL speakers when I met you, and then I had Yamahas. So now we're working with two different sets of thousands of dollars of speakers, and like they sound great. Don't get me wrong by any means, but I still feel like we could get great mixes out of the cheaper stuff as well.
I don't know. Those JBL sound so much different. Like, I remember the first time what was the first set of speakers we got? Was it the Dying Audio? No, it was the Atom.
It was the Atom A8Xs.
I remember the first time I heard those, I was like, this is crazy. And then I plugged the JBLs back in. I was like, this sounds like crap. I mean, those JBLs they were awesome. You know what I mean? I used those things for like 6-7 years, no problems at all. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they were awesome, and I think a lot of it boils down to your room, you know what I mean? And obviously, like, if you know your speakers, you'll make a great mix. But with the speakers we got now, I mean, dude, so much clarity.
Yeah. And honestly, like those focals, I'm loving those.
I do love those, yeah. I just enjoy going home and listening to music on those.
And for those to be $5.99 a piece, that's insane.
What model are those? For everyone we're talking to?
The twin, I don't know.
Twin Evos? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think they're Evos.
Yeah.
They're blue. They got blue tint and like blue and black.
Focal is an awesome brand.
Yeah, I really want those trios.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to buy them. Just listen to me, y'all. I'm not going to buy them. But they're like, I don't know, like 6,000 a piece.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It's those 11-inch trios.
I saw David from what's his name? Mixbus TV. He just got a new set of speakers that looked really nice.
Oh, did he?
I think they're the upgraded Atoms from what we have.
Oh.
Yeah.
The S, I think they're S lines.
I think so.
Yeah.
They look sick.
Yeah,
I want to hear
those. God, what were those ones that he had?
He had I think he still has those. It's over the K or something. They were like huge, like 10 or 11-inch.
I thought they were like Evos or something like that.
Yeah. We looked them up. They were sick.
Yeah, but I actually would really like to have a pair of those.
I think he said those were like custom made or something.
No, it's a website you can go to and get them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But like they're not on like Vintage King or Sweetwater. You have to go
like
to
made
that
to
website.
order?
Yeah. You have to go to that website and order them from the company.
Man, I wonder how you even get into a speaker like that. Because like if you've never heard it before, how do you know it's the best thing in the world?
Right? I guess.
Especially if you're dropping that much money.
Yeah, I guess they go to like the AES and all those like conferences and just try all their stuff to people.
That's crazy because they're probably in like a big ass room.
Yeah.
And like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And you're just
how do you know?
Yeah. You're like, man, I can hear these over all these people. Here's my money.
Yeah. I think having kind of that niche stuff is still pretty cool. Have you heard of PSI? Mm-hmm. They have these speakers that are like, I'm trying to look around the room, but it's like a maroon tint to them. It's like that and like a greenish tint to them. And I'm like, these are the ugliest speakers I've ever seen. But a lot of people swear they're like some of the best speakers.
Dude, I guarantee if someone made like a speaker where you could just like change the faceplate to like,
oh my God,
it could be the crappiest like just low end speaker, and they would sell so many of them.
Yeah. And there's not really a company out there that's very young and innovative other than Slate. And I kind of wish Slate kind of took that approach to stuff. Like he did the VSXs, which are phenomenal. A lot of people swear by those. And he's got the microphone.
The ML1 did really, really well. He has another ML2 microphone, which is like it's like a little tiny shotgun mic. It's like I can't remember what it's called, but it's really small. They didn't do as well. But then obviously they had the VRS8, which did very bad. Like, so many people online to this day still hate that. Like,
Yeah.
because they're in the same position I'm in. Like, I bought this awesome interface that I thought I was going to have to buy a new one. And, like, it's supposed to have these world-class preamps and all this stuff. And then within, like, 2 generations of updates, it's completely useless.
Yeah.
And I'm just left with this thing that I don't know what to do with. Because no one wants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think. So, has he talked about what he's going to do in the future? Like, we know he sold the plugins to.
Yeah, they just announced that they're going to have some big thing coming up Friday. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be a plugin.
Is it for Slate? Was it audio or Slate Digital?
So Slate, I don't know if Slate Digital is still called Slate Digital, but Slate Digital is like the VMR, all the plugins, and then Slate, Steven Slate, he's like Steven Slate Drums or Steven Slate Audio, which is like his VSX, his Trigger plugin.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if you know what that is.
That's not a part of Slate Digital?
No.
Oh, wow.
There might be a free version of that though. That's one of the most powerful plugins on the freaking earth.
I'm surprised they.
And then you also have SSD5, which is like a drum MIDI program.
Okay.
I used it on that one song I showed you that I wrote all the drums and bass. Yeah, that's what I used on that.
Okay.
But it's super, super simple and like easy to use.
I'm still surprised that they didn't put Trigger with Slate Digital.
It's just a different thing. Like drums are pretty unique. I don't know. I think it's just like that was under that business, and it'd be hard to like. He'd have to sell it to that business.
Did he do that before he started Slate Digital?
I don't know if he did it before, but Trigger's been around for a long time. Yeah,
that would make sense then.
He might have. I don't. He very well could have.
Yeah, and he probably was just like, "No, this is my baby. Like, I'm not getting rid of this."
Yeah,
it's probably a moneymaker for sure.
Yeah,
I mean that's
it's very unique. There's only a couple of those on the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only one I really even know about.
Okay.
I know there's a couple more, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to look.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people, like when they just talk about drum plugins, they just say Trigger.
Yeah.
It's like that household name.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. You just say Jordan.
Yeah.
And everybody knows who you're talking about. Trigger. Oh, I know.
Steven Slate. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think his company. I honestly can't even think of a newer company because Isotope and them have been around for a while.
I think
instruments.
Another company that's obviously been around for forever but is doing a good job of pivoting to like the younger engineers is UAD with the Volt.
They are definitely adapting.
I think the business decisions they've made lately have been awesome. Like I was just talking to a client of mine the other day because you always like before it was always like everyone who like starts out has a Scarlett. You know what I mean? Like a stupid little 2i2.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody, he's like, yeah, I got the Volt. And I was like, heck yeah, dude. Like, he's like, usually I have to recommend, because I always recommend the Volt to people.
Yeah.
Or if they can get, the X2 or whatever, X4, whatever it is. But I was like, that's cool. Now people are starting to pick that up. You know what I mean? Because that has like the little analog thing, doesn't it?
I think it has like a 1176 or LA2A compressor like style built into it. And then something else.
This is like, I don't know. Some of those cheap interfaces, they just like, they sound so bad. I don't know, they sound very like digital. And like, especially when people don't know how to use their gain. It's like, bro, this sounds horrible. Like, turn that down, please.
And I honestly, embarrassingly enough, I can tell you it was probably maybe 3 years ago when I started using a compressor, like while I record. Yeah. Like it was not that long ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're spoiled now, but yeah, I try to remember what was on my vocal chain when I first started. I definitely had a compressor on there. I think like all I would use the track was like, and it wasn't like committing it. It was just like on the track, the record track was like maybe an EQ and then like a compressor just to get gain and like make sure it didn't like go crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always kind of had a pretty decent setup. I think one of my first interface I ever bought was a Scarlett Pro 40. Or no, it was made by, is Scarlett the brand?
Yeah. So Focusrite.
Okay, I had a Focusrite Sapphire Pro 40.
Sapphire. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the next.
That's above Scarlet, right?
Yeah.
Because then they have red. It's like a different line.
They had like the Octo Pre's and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Because the studio I interned at, one of the rooms I was in had a Pro 26. Or it might have been a Pro 40. Whatever. I had the one with 4 preamps.
Okay.
Liquid preamps, they called them. And all it was like literally just a gain knob. And like, I might have had a high pass filter on it and like the phantom power. And then it had 2 instrument cables. But I had that. And then the next one I got was that VRS8.
Okay.
But dude, the interfaces we have now, I absolutely like love them so much.
What was the first DAW you used? Was it Pro Tools?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I used FL back in like 2011.
Okay.
I pirated it off the internet like everyone else did.
Did you use anything else?
No. When I went to school, they just taught us on Pro Tools.
Okay.
Like, I remember getting like a forever license when we signed up. So I remember it was like one of my first big purchases ever when I was like 18. I bought the Sapphire Pro 40. I bought my JBLs, a machine controller, a MacBook, and a microphone. I think it was an AKG 414. And like I had that at home, and then I'd bring my computer to school and like just follow along on my computer.
Okay.
Or just use theirs. But I was like in my head, because they had the JBLs in one of their rooms. So I was like, I was used to hearing them. So I was like, I'm just going to get the same speakers because like it'll make it easier.
Yeah.
And it kind of did. But
dang, I forgot what I was going to ask you. There's something about the different DAWs, but
I didn't know enough on FL to even have an idea of what I was doing when I got to school.
Oh, I remember now. Do you think different DAWs sound different? Are you one of those? Because I am not.
I mean, I might just be ignorant because I haven't bounced like thousands of songs to every single DAW, but I don't think there's any difference.
Yeah, some people swear that, like, even Andrew, the guy that's worked here a couple times, he says that Luna is the best sounding recording DAW.
That just doesn't make any logical sense.
It doesn't to me either.
Because when you bounce something like 96 kilohertz with like a 24-bit rate, like if they both have the same thing, why would it be coded different?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if it's both bounced like a wave form.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
We're going to have to make a video about this.
Yeah.
Because it will definitely get a lot of hits. Because a lot of people swear that like Pro Tools sounds the best, Luna sounds the best, FL sounds the best. Like people say that all the time. But I personally do not think that there's a difference. That's just me.
It just doesn't. It makes no sense. But I'm down to bounce like the same song through freaking. Well, how would we even set that up?
I think we'd have to record in different DAWs. We could easily do it downstairs with Luna, Pro Tools, and Logic.
Yeah.
We could do all three. But anything. Well, we could download FL as well. We could download it on that computer. But yeah, I just don't think that they sound different at all.
It doesn't make sense.
And, you know, you're talking about the coding. So maybe the coding could be, right? So they're not all the same DAW.
Yeah, but is like anyone really going to notice that?
I don't think so. And even Southside, he's in 808 Mafia. He makes a lot of beats for like Gucci and a bunch of these big name rappers. He says that, or actually it might have been Metro Boomin. I can't remember. But he says that like FL7 or like FL8 sounds better than the FL right now. I'm just like,
maybe.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, are we talking like straight bounce it with no plugins? Like,
I don't know.
Or did the plugins get updated? Like something's not, you know what I mean? Like
they're just saying this to me, I think, because that's just what they were used to.
Yeah.
So they just refuse to believe that something else is better than what they've been used to.
And sometimes you hear people who just say stuff. You're like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, did you hear that from somebody? Like, do you understand what you're saying right now?
Like, what's his name? The guy that was interning here. I just asked you about him.
Mike?
Yeah. He was talking about, did we know that wave files like lose their data or something over time. And I was like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was like, now, if it was on a disc or something, that would make sense.
It got scratched or something?
It's degrading over time, just like vinyl. Like it degrades over time just because air molecules, like things are disrupting the texture of the thing.
Especially if it was on the internet. Like, maybe you can make a crazy argument that your like hard drive is somehow getting taken by the elements, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
But if it's on the internet, like, if it's on the cloud, like, come on, man.
It's just there.
There's some corrosion in the sky.
Like, that's just on a server somewhere, which is still just like a hard drive.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't buy into it.
Yeah, I don't buy into it either.
And if you do, by all means, like, you can please send us something to show us the difference. But
we are down to learn.
We should definitely make a video sometime. Like maybe just get some artists in here and just make them record like the same thing over and over again, and then we'll just do it in like the different DAWs, and we could post it. And I guarantee you it'll get like a ton of hits because people are looking that up all the time.
Yeah,
like, what's the best DAW?
We could just do it with no plugins or anything.
Yeah, we could do no plugins.
Just do our hardware and straight 2-track and a vocal and bounce that shit.
Yeah. Now I think something that would be cool is they started making templates that you could use in different DAWs. So like, let's say you made a template in Logic, you could like move that template.
I think they do that. Some companies do, yeah. Well, Logic even has like a Pro Tools keyboard shortcut preferences.
Oh, that's sick.
I don't know if Pro Tools does, because I was like using all the hotkeys Pro Tools has on Logic, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I tried.
But even DaVinci has a Pro Tools keyboard shortcut.
Oh yeah.
So that's made DaVinci super easy for me because I just changed to that. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Because like the whole like R and T thing where I'm zooming in and out, I constantly do that on Pro Tools. So when I go into like Logic or DaVinci and I can't do that, I'm like, how do I zoom out? You know what I mean?
I'm lost.
Yeah, like because you'll be doing something and you're just like lost. You're like, bro, I literally can't see what I'm doing. But all you have to do is just zoom out.
Yeah.
But I mean, going from like here over to here, which on our big monitors, like it takes forever to do. Sounds so lazy, but you know, you do that 1,000 times in an hour. It's like, bro, I wasted so much time just going back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, keyboard shortcuts are huge to learn. Like if you guys are new or don't know a ton of keyboard shortcuts, like definitely invest some time because they will save you literally days of time.
Yeah. I've been working with Rachel on DaVinci, and like, it bothers me so much when she doesn't use two hands. Like, she wants to do everything with one hand. And I'm just like, put your other hand there and just use a shortcut. Like,
that is a hard thing when I watch other engineers do stuff. And I just want to help, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I can help you go faster. And then, like I was probably like that, you know what I mean, at one point.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not be one of those guys who's like a backseat driver. Now I just try to shut up unless someone tries to ask me for help. But yeah, it's definitely like sometimes like you could do that so much easier if you just hit this button.
Yeah.
But there's like, I'm learning, bro.
And Rachel actually taught me if you hit, now I'm going to forget what it was, but like if you hit Option and up and down in DaVinci, it will just move that thing in the same spot up and down, like straight up and down.
So it's kind of like that in Pro Tools. If you like, you select a clip, you hit Control C, and then you can go, I think it's like, whatever the thing is under the P character, that's down, and P is up.
Oh, okay.
And then you can just Control V and copy it and paste it right there.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So instead of like, you know, sometimes you drag stuff and it moves everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in like slip mode, like you just copy, especially if you're a long way down, saves you some time.
I just always copy paste.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about the up and down. And Luna is supposed to have the exact same shortcuts as Pro Tools. So, whatever.
Dude, I was looking. I don't know if I told you about that problem I had on Pro Tools the other day where I just restarted my computer and it fixed everything, but I was hitting Command and it kept like popping up. What was it doing? Oh, it was splitting the tracks when I just hit Command.
Oh, wow.
So I was like in the preferences digging through there trying to figure out like someone changed something because we have multiple people that come in here. So I was like, someone must have just changed something. So I factory reset all the keyboard settings in Pro Tools and in my Mac and still did it. And I was like, I just give up. I was like, I'm just going to subside to living with this problem for the rest of my life. Because usually to split a track, it's B, where you can like do it with the mouse or whatever. But
Okay.
I just gave up and left. Came home, came back, and then it was fixed. And I was like, all right. I was worried, man, because that was pissing me off.
That's crazy. So I do. I click where I want to split it and do Command E. That's how I split my tracks.
In Pro Tools?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Well,
yeah,
and
that's what I was getting to. I was looking through the shortcuts. So many shortcuts, dude, that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty proficient with Pro Tools. Like,
Yeah. You know all the shortcuts to get you what you need.
yeah.
Like there might be some more out there that you probably would never use because you don't do those actions, I guess.
Man, I found one the other day. Well, I didn't find it. I just haven't used it in a while. Where, like, I heard some guy call it the bear claw. It's like Shift, Option, Command, I think. And then I had like 10 tracks. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It was funny, but I remembered it because he called it that. But basically, if you hit that, and if you hit your input, like, I was trying to get like 10 tracks input 1 through 10, it'll do it all. As long as the things are highlighted, it'll do it all for you.
Okay.
Instead of like doing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You said it will make them all the same input?
No, it'll make them all like 1 through 10.
Oh, okay. In numerical order.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, saved me a ton of time.
Yeah.
I used to use it all the time, but I haven't used it in a while. And I had to remember what it was the other day when I was doing a song.
I think in Luna, if you create a new track, it automatically makes it. I want to say it automatically gives it no input.
So I think Pro Tools. So say the reason we can't really do this with our setup is like we have a really weird setup and we have 2 interfaces and everything's everywhere. But Pro Tools, if you have nothing, no hardware, all that stuff, it'll make like if you make 20 tracks, it'll put input 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Or however many like ends you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll start using like random stuff that you never even use.
Yeah. But it'll just go right down your list.
Yeah.
Which is convenient unless like you're like us where our routing is really weird. So it's like you have to do everything manually every time if you're going to make like that many tracks.
Yeah. Something that you don't use that I use all the time is Option Command B. And that's how you bounce a track.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Yeah, you always click and just go to bounce, but I just do Option Command B and bounce it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that one doesn't save too much time because it's like, for me, it's like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that one is I could probably start using that one.
So you said in Pro Tools, it's like it's something under P. You can go up and down with the sound.
Yeah, so you have to select the track, hit, like, copy it, Control C, and then hit, I think P's up, and then whatever, it's like a colon or something, semicolon, you hit that and it goes down.
Okay. I'll have to try that one out because I've been wanting that. Because I usually just do Command C, go to the track that I want it to go to, and then Command V and let it paste in.
Yeah, it saves you some time, especially if you're in like 16th notes and you're just moving stuff real fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't use it all the time just because it's like, it is more work if you're only going 1 down.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going like 30 tracks down and you don't want to drag it, because once you get that far, you don't even remember where it was.
Yeah, you might have lost it.
Yeah. So, especially if you're just trying to punch in a little spot and you have a track on each side, super accurate.
And are you, there's another thing I noticed I wanted to talk to you about was, I noticed you had did it, and so I started trying it. You're putting your de-esser before your compressor, right?
I have 2 de-essers on my main vocal track.
Oh, okay.
So I go EQ, like a linear EQ, like the Fab filter, just to take out the nasty stuff. And then on the Slate, the VMR, I have the Slate de-esser.
Okay.
It's barely doing anything, just to catch it before I compress it.
Okay.
So if there's anything like super annoying, I'll try to get it there. Because obviously if you compress it, it's just going to sound like crap. And then I hit the LA2A. And then if I need it, I've either been experimenting with the Fab Filter de-esser or I've been trying that SSL one out.
And I was listening to a podcast, I think it was one of Bobby Osinski's podcasts, and they were talking about, or it might have been Production Expert. They were talking about always compress before you use an EQ I was like, what are y'all talking about? But I forget that when you're recording, you're compressing. Now,
Yeah.
I was thinking like plugins wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're recording, you're already compressed. So yeah, if this is my input, if you're recording, you want to compress before EQ, and your first EQ will be the one that's in your DAW. Like your preamp might have an EQ on it, but you're not really. It's more subtraction. You're not really doing anything. Which your EQ in your DAW will probably be more subtraction, anyways, like Fab Filter. But
Yeah, like
compress before you EQ.
rarely ever boost with Fab Filter.
Yeah. I will sometimes if I want high end.
Yeah.
But low end and like mids is all subtraction.
Yeah. Like I'll use it on like snares or guitars if I'm trying to add stuff, but most of the time I won't even do that because I'll just use like a saturating plugin to get like the high end or something.
Yeah. Did you ever use Thermonic Culture Vulture yet?
I think I used it on a couple mixes when we were talking about it last time, but I don't use it all the time.
Yeah, it's another black box type.
Yeah.
Like if you do too much, it'll destroy your mix.
Yeah.
But it sounds pretty cool. I think it has a good bit of like thickness to it. Whatever that means.
Yeah. Dude, who was I talking to? I was talking to someone the other day I was trying to explain to them how like we look at sounds as like temperatures and like brightness and warmth. And I was describing like a color as a bright color. And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, and then I used like the sound analogy when you have like a harsh thing, like, oh, it's a really bright sound. You know what I mean? They were just like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, it makes sense, okay? Just understand this is a cozy sound.
Like I think you're a very bright mixer and I'm a very dark mixer. And it's just weird to describe. Like I mix dark. What does that mean? You take all the light out of it? No. It's just dark.
Yeah.
Like what?
It's vintage, bro. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that, and it's also weird we have those preferences.
Yeah.
Whether it's just what we like to hear or it's just the way our ears are made and how our ears perceive sound. If somebody messed up their hearing, then they're probably going to mix differently than how other people mix because one, they can't hear that well. So they might be very sensitive to high pitch noises or they might pick up certain frequencies differently. So yeah, like your engineer, the way they grew up and the way they've handled their life will dictate the way your song sounds.
Yeah, for real, bro.
That's a pretty cool thing to know. Is like, you know, everybody's going to mix differently.
Yeah.
There's no right way. I always tell people like, you know, how do I make it sound, you know, this way or whatever. It's like, you can do whatever you want. Like if you want to throw Fab Filter on every single track, or if you want to throw compression on everything, like there's no such thing as too much compression unless it's destroying the sound of the sound wave.
Which isn't hard to do.
Yeah. You can easily do that.
I used to do that. I remember when I first started engineering, I was like, I don't understand this compressor, like this attack, release, like what?
So what were your first like plugins that you were using?
I used like stock plugins and I think Waves.
I think that's like everybody's stock and Waves.
Yeah.
Because it's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Waves, you buy plugins for like $20 and $30. So how long has Plugin Alliance been around? Because they're super cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been around. I started using them maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I like their stuff. Do you want to know the reason I started using their stuff?
Why?
So, it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 4 years ago. I think I used a Dangerous 2-bus somewhere.
Okay.
And I was like, I freaking love this thing. Why have I never heard of this thing? Because that's like, it's kind of one of those niche things you've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there a plug-in version of this? And then I was watching Tom Lord Algae. He was using this thing called the Spytilizer. I don't even know how to say it.
You said Tom Lord Algae?
Yeah, there's a Tom Lord Algae.
Really?
He's also a great mixer.
He's not related to Chris?
He might actually be. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
But if they're both brothers, that's crazy because they're both like Grammy awarded mixing engineers.
That's crazy.
But he was using something, and it was also from Plugin Alliance. I was like, okay, I'm freaking getting this.
Okay.
both these things are sick.
Yeah.
And I still have both of them on my master bus or on my vocal mix bus.
Okay.
I don't use them hardly ever, but like sometimes I do, and they sound sick. But Plugin Alliance has so much. They're like kind of like Slate, where like they got so much different stuff. They got like instrument plugins, they have mixing plugins, plus like whatever subscription you choose, like you can find something that you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we were talking about the other day, you get to pick something for free at the end of the year. Or you get like what is it, like $100 or something?
I think they give you, it's like it's over $100 worth, like a voucher.
Yeah,
It's whatever the price was of the subscription.
Okay,
is what they it's like they're refunding you pretty much.
Yeah, it's super sick. So if you wanted to, you could just buy every plugin that you already have.
Yeah.
Or if you're like me and you want new stuff, you can just try stuff that you don't have.
Yeah, I think I've bought 3 plugins from Plugin Alliance, and then a lot of them I've gotten for free. Like I bought the purple 1176. What else did I buy? I bought some like EQ or something. Oh, the MX. The MX.
Oh, yeah. I used that thing for a while. That thing is crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that thing it just takes a lot of work to figure out how to use it well.
Yeah.
And I think the way I used it was like, I used it too extremely, you know what I mean?
Better Maker. I use the Better Maker.
Better
EQ.
Maker's
I
super
bought
sick.
that. So, yeah, those are the ones I bought from them. I kind of feel like I want to get their subscription just because I realize, like, hey, they give you the money to just buy their plugins as well, though. But, yeah, I currently just have no subscription anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it. If there was going to be one I had to have, it'd definitely be this Slate.
Especially now that they have
You just
SSL.
get so much stuff, dude.
Yeah, now
so
you're getting
much stuff.
SSL and Harrison with it. So it's like, dang.
So no brainer. Plus, like, you have Anna 2, which is like instrument plugin that you can, like, you don't even need anything else.
Yeah.
And it comes with, like, I think, I was looking on there today, it comes with like 6 or 5 different expansions with different, like, sounds, like cinematic sounds and like trash sounds.
Okay.
All kinds of stuff, dude.
Yeah.
So if you can't figure out how to make a song from that, you suck. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've been considering getting back into either Waves or Slate. I don't know which one, but I just hate paying a subscription. I'm not anti-subscription by any means. I think subscriptions are very useful because they give you updates with it. So if something new comes out, you just get it. You don't have to worry about like, oh, do I have to buy this? Like, no, you just get it. So, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of Waves, Slate. Who else has some stuff out there? Isotope or Native Instruments, whoever the company is now, which that's another topic. But yeah, I haven't really just gotten into their stuff. I don't know if it's because of the way it looks
yeah.
or
I
what.
used to have all the Isotope stuff.
Like I've used Elements before. That's like that little EQ thing.
I'm just not super into it.
I wasn't blown away by it.
Yeah.
The Isotope for mastering, haven't been blown away by it. They got that Neutron and all that other stuff. It doesn't do it for me.
To me, it just feels like it makes it. It takes a lot of the work I did and makes it something else that I don't really want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the mastering for real. It's like, all right, this is what it's supposed to sound like. It's like, I don't want it to sound like this.
Yeah, this sounds weird.
Why'd you do this to my track?
Yeah, delete.
So yeah, companies buying each other.
Yeah.
How do you feel about? Because it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? So we've already seen the good thing. Now you get SSL plugins. That's the good thing when one company buys other companies. Native Instruments, they, I think, got bought by Isotope. No. There's a company. They're a venture capitalist company. So they just buy up everything. They bought Plugin Alliance, Isotope, and Native Instruments.
Whoa.
So they own all 3 of those. That's why if you have a Plugin Alliance subscription, you started getting Native Instrument plugins.
Dude, I need to update my stuff.
Yeah. So all those like plugins that came with Native Instruments, they came with that now. And then also you could get like a few Isotope or what is the actual company called? It's not Isotope. Some Elements, isn't it?
I thought it was Isotope.
I think that's just the name of that one plugin.
No, because when I go on my providers or whatever. I sort my plugins by provider. It says
it is
isotope.
isotope.
Yeah.
I thought it was some elements. But anyways, yeah, so all those plugins are
By
now.
the way, that's how you know you have too many plugins. when you go,
know
so if
it
you
by
ever go to
company.
someone's computer and it's sorted by plugin provider names, they got too many plugins.
Yeah, they got some diversity.
Because if you go to the dynamic section and it's just like 20 pages of compressors, you're never finding what you need.
Hey, guess what? You're probably going to use about 3 different compressors in your whole mix.
Yeah.
Most of the time you use the same because, like, it's weird if you use, let's say, on your main vocal, use a distressor. And then, like, your backing vocals using LA2A. And then your ad-libs, you're using, like, the CL1B. Like, that's messy. Like, you might as well just use the same one for all of them.
Yeah.
But,
It's the same person.
yeah. But, yeah, like, how do you feel about those getting bought up and squashed into, like, one
I mean, so
package
far
deal?
it's worked out great for us. You know what I mean?
Everybody, I think so.
the users are getting a lot from it.
Yeah.
So I think it's super sick. Hopefully Slate doesn't go make it super jacked up in price. You know what I mean? I'm afraid of that.
I think it won't just because of what they've already did. Like they already are keeping it the same price.
Yeah, but it's not hard for a brand to just pivot and like slowly change like the culture of a company.
Absolutely.
It could get better. It could get worse.
Yeah, and that's why I keep telling you every time Pro Tools gets sold, come like, just watch
could
out.
be it.
Yeah,
This could be it.
I don't think they'll go under just because, but they did find out that like, I think Media Composer or something. I'm a probably butcher this, but either Media Composer is the biggest moneymaker or the least moneymaker for Avid.
I don't even know what that is.
You would use it. So a lot of movie makers use Media Composer when they're making their movies. So they use Pro Tools to mix the sounds in the movie.
Okay.
And so with Media Composer, I think you can watch the movie and mix at the same time.
I was wondering how they did that.
Yeah. Like there's very few plugins you can do, or DAWs that you can do that in.
Well, yeah, every filmmaker in the world's doing that.
Yeah, I think Pro Tools is one, and then like, I don't think you can do it in Cubase. Maybe it's like Reaper or something else. Like you can watch something and mix at the same time.
Man, that would take a mammoth PC.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like things like that is what's keeping Avid creating selling Pro Tools because it's like
you need this.
Yeah, and everybody's using it. Like to me, Pro Tools is the industry standard.
Yeah.
If you're using something else, it's because you're choosing to use it.
Yes.
Anything like Pro Tools is the
Like
standard.
I've never been to a commercial studio where it's like,
We only got Logic.
all right, see ya.
Yeah. So, word of advice: if you're going to be an engineer, learn Pro Tools because it is the standard. But if you just want to learn something else because it fits you better, then learn it. But Pro Tools is the standard by all means. I just don't see it going away, but it is being bought and sold constantly. I think since I've known you, it's been bought and sold 4 times.
That's crazy. It has been getting better though.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And the prices are changing. They were like, the company admitted that they were too expensive. They were like, we messed up. So then they made it really cheap. And I think they're going to keep it about where it's at.
Well, so when I first started using Pro Tools, you had to buy like a perpetual license.
You had to buy Perpetual and that was it?
I don't think they had a subscription model.
Oh, dang.
So it's like you bought Pro Tools and then you bought update plans.
Oh, wow.
And it was kind of a kick in the mouth because it was expensive to update. It might have been a couple $100. I can't remember.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you bought your perpetual license, and then one day there was like, okay, we have a subscription program if you want. But in order to do that, you have to forfeit your perpetual license.
Okay.
And there was a huge, like, everyone was like, oh, I'm so mad. You know what I mean? Like, everyone was so mad on the internet because they were like, why do I have to do this? Why can't I just get the update? Blah, 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 blah. Why I have to forfeit my perpetual license that I've already paid all this money for? Which they were right. And then I remember when I took the hit, like when I got the iMac, it was already updated to something that my Pro Tools just wasn't. I kept getting so many errors that it wasn't the computer, it was just my version of Pro Tools. I was working with like a 2014 version of Pro Tools in like 2019, 2020. There's still guys who probably have Pro Tools version like 2010. Not even joking you.
That's crazy.
Very crazy. So I finally did it, and it made me forfeit my perpetual license, and I got the subscription model, which I don't remember what I paid, but I like it. You know what I mean? I think you get Melodyne for free. You get a ton of plugins for free. Like I said earlier, you got the Pure Mix stuff now. There's a bunch of resources that I never had before. I think you get a free 3-month trial of Auto Tune. So, you get tons of value for whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I'm also 27, so I'm more open to subscriptions than if I was 50 or 60 and have been using this since it came out.
Yeah.
I'd be probably pretty pissed.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It costs them money to update it, you know what I mean?
And as I said, I don't have any subscriptions right now for that kind of stuff, but if I found the value in it, I would just get it. I'm on the bridge of Waves. If Waves charged me more money and gave me more licenses, I probably would have bought it by now. I probably would have bought it back. But since it's only one license, I'm I can't go to the studio and use these. Or if I just buy it for the studio, I can't use it at home.
Well, I don't even see Waves innovate that much right now, do you?
No, they just keep their innovation as plugins. Hey, we got this new plugin for you. Yeah, I got 6 other ones just like it.
Yeah.
Update your service.
Well, I think that's the problem with companies like that is they have great stuff and everyone's been using them forever, but they're not Slate's changed the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Before Slate, subscriptions with plugins wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
They came along and everything has changed. They're holy crap, this dude is making tons of money.
Yeah.
Because he's doing something that's outside the box.
Yeah.
And even to this day, they're still adding stuff. They're not just making mixing plugins. They're adding instrument plugins. If you want to, you can go over and get the drum stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many options to do everything instead of just making the same plugin with a different name
I think Slate
that no one knows how to use.
Yeah, I think Slate and Plugin Alliance put the pressure on UAD because UAD is the god, the king of plugins right now. And once they felt pressure from these other companies, they were like, oh, yeah, we can't charge $300 for a compressor anymore.
No.
We have to drop the price. So
but they also gave updates to the plugins for free with the purchase.
Yeah, you never had to pay to update their plugins.
So over 20 years, that'd be a tremendous value.
Yes, correct. Yeah. It was like you had a perpetual license that gave you free everything.
But when you're freaking 20 years old, you're bro, I can't afford that.
Yeah.
I want to use all that because all my heroes are using that, but I can't afford $12,000 of plugins.
The crazy thing
I made $500 last month.
You just threw a number out there, but I'm pretty sure UAD complete is $10,000. It's I want to say it's close to $11,000.
That's crazy.
But yeah, nobody else has a subscription like that. No. Nobody else has plugins that cost that much money.
No, because now UAD has what was it called? Spark?
Spark. Where you can get all, I think they only have 30 something plugins though. There are 30 something plugins that you can use with a license. And it's I think the cheapest plan they have is $100 a year. And then they have a plan that's $300 a year. And it's all the plugins that they have. But if you're like us and we have the UAD version, we get the Spark version for free. Yeah. So any plugin they come out with Spark, we can use it for free.
Yeah. We have the DSP version.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's going to go away is DSP. Because we don't need it. Our computers are getting more powerful, so DSP is starting to become irrelevant. Yeah. Now, is it useful? Yeah. But it's not as necessary as it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully, UAD will, whatever they come out with next, doesn't screw everybody over somehow. I don't know how they would do it.
I don't know what you'll do.
Yeah, maybe they'll come out with a new, so let's say they did what Slate did, but software wise, hey, this is the newest UAD. 3, I think, because I think they're on UAD 2 right now. So let's say UAD 3 comes out, the plugins update, but like you can't update unless you have like the newest Mac or you're on like Sonoma just came
Right.
out. Like you have to have Sonoma or something like that. Then you're like, well, now I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, me and you both right now are still using Monterey.
Yeah, I'm not updating.
Like
Ever.
I usually somebody said the rule of thumb is to stay 2 behind, because if you're 2 behind, the companies are still trying to catch up to the next one.
Yeah.
I don't even what was the next one after Monterey?
I don't know.
I forgot what that one was called. I think it started with a V.
Ventura.
Yeah. So that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. I just updated my iMac to that.
Okay. So I'm actually on Sonoma on my laptop, but
Is this scary?
no, I don't.
Oh, that's
need,
right.
Yeah,
I can totally do that.
Yeah. So I'm on Sonoma on that one, but for everything else that I need music wise, like I think that's on Ventura. I mean, not Ventura, Monterey. So anything that has a UAD thing attached to it, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Because my interface is everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have an interface, you don't have anything.
No.
So
Yeah, definitely not worth it.
yeah.
To get like what? New notes? New note features? Like,
And that's how I feel like with iPhones and everything.
Yeah.
My plan is to update my phone every, I think, 4 years. Because I
like
was
the
on
operating system or the actual phone?
the actual phone,
Oh.
the physical phone.
Dude, that's like 40 years in phone years. That's like 4 iPhones, dude.
Because I had the iPhone 11 Pro, and I just upgraded to the 15.
Dang, I'm
15 Pro.
still at the 12, I think.
You're at the 12?
12 or 13.
So I think you should get a new phone next year.
Whatever this one is, the 2. Does it show you?
Well, it depends. Is that a Pro or is that just a...
No, it's the regular one. Does it show you in your... this is a 13.
You're on a 13?
Yeah, it's 13.
If I were you, I don't know. I might upgrade to the 16 because USB-C.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then I think they say on the 16, the battery is going to be different. It's going to be like a...
Bro, they've been saying that forever. You're never going to need to charge this.
So my phone goes dead super fast.
That one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But it also charges very fast. Like, I think... So I only charge mine to 80%. It's got like a new thing in there to where it lets me charge just to 80%.
Why would you do that?
It saves the battery. Like, not saves, like it makes the battery last longer.
Even though it doesn't last long.
They say, yeah, right. Well, not last long as like
Yeah, long. You're talking about like length.
the lifetime
Yeah.
of it. They even say that for Teslas. Teslas, they suggest you only charge it to 80%.
Huh.
Yeah.
So batteries, you don't want to go too low and you don't want to go too high.
I think you can let it die.
Really? I thought that wasn't good to do.
Okay, so I found out that your phone has a cycle count. If you go past the cycle count, it might just not work anymore. That means you let it die. So iPhones, I think, is like 500. So if you let your phone die like 500 times, it might not work again.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I just found out that
That'd be a lot of times you let it die, dude.
Yeah.
You're a very irresponsible person.
I'm pretty
If your
sure
iPhone died 500 times.
like some people I guess just like to run theirs to their dead. I compare it to like you as a person. Like, do you just stay up all day until you go to sleep?
Keep going, bro.
Or do you take
Well, it's
naps?
not good to do that in your car either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you don't have the... yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not. Rule of thumb, everybody, don't go until you're dead. Go to sleep.
Well, we as people, we hardly take naps.
Yeah.
Like, unless you just have the time to take a nap. Like,
I don't ever take naps.
yeah, I don't ever take naps. And when I do, like, I love it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I'm drooling.
if I have nothing to do all day, like, and I just feel like lazy, like playing video
yeah,
games
dude.
or something and watching movies, like, then I'll take a nap and I feel great. But I usually, my day, I wake up at like 5 something and I'm busy all day. And then I go to sleep around like 10 or 11 and I feel great. Like Rachel, she will take a nap during the day.
Really?
Like it's almost a guarantee she's going to take a nap during the day. But like a lot of foods like will make her feel sleepy and stuff like that.
Well, turkey. So the reason everyone like falls asleep during Thanksgiving is there's an amino acid in there that like it's the same amino acid your brain produces a lot of when you sleep. Or what it produces when you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a T. Tryptophan.
Oh.
Yeah, it's something tryptophan.
Okay.
But your brain produces that when you fall asleep, and turkey is really high in tryptophan.
Oh.
So when you eat the turkey, you feel like falling asleep. Because of the chemical reaction.
Interesting.
So it's not just, well, it is probably also because you're fat from the food.
The comfort food.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it comfort food, because it feels comfortable and you just want to go to sleep. Nothing else you want to do.
Facts.
Are you a Thanksgiving food person?
I like turkey. My dad makes a pretty mean smoked ham.
Okay.
But
I love ham. Oh my God, I love ham.
my dad will smoke a ham for like 8 hours. The nice crispy bark, dude. Whoo, boy.
Yeah, I'm a ham
I'm excited for the meats, and then I love the rolls, dude. The yeast rolls.
Okay.
Big yeast roll guy.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'll just smash the food. I'm pretty hungry now thinking about it.
Yeah, I really like doing different foods and stuff like that, but I know what I like and I know what I don't like. I try not to get something too crazy. But
Yeah, I don't even care. I'm a picky eater. Like, I eat what I eat. Fine with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
pretty healthy dude. Like,
Do you ever get tired of eating certain things?
Not really. Like, I can eat, like, I'm eating chicken and rice right now. Like, I have like 9 meals in the fridge. Like, I'll eat it all the day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I was going to ask because, like, if you're a
I feel
bodybuilder
good, you know what I mean?
and you just don't get tired of eating things, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
Because if you can eat chicken and rice or like turkey and rice or
But
whatever,
I'm also not on like a crazy strict diet. You know what I mean? Like, I'll eat some food every now and then. Like, last night I had some wings. Like, I ate chicken and rice like 3 times yesterday. And then I had wings when I went to play some pool.
Okay.
So, the only thing with chicken and rice, I just get hungry like every freaking hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm starving.
I was watching some guy and he was talking about, what was it? He was talking about like Japanese rice. It has like, I think he was talking about like having sugar in it. And he was like, if you're a guy and you're doing bodybuilding, it was like sweet rice or like sugar rice or something. He was saying because it is like you don't feel full and you're going to be hungry the next like 5 minutes. So like eat that because you're going to be able to eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dang.
Dude, I can eat, I make jasmine rice.
That's what jasmine rice is my go-to.
Yeah.
Because
I'll throw a little bit of
the right
cilantro in there.
size. Yeah. Right size, right flavor for me, everything.
I just picked up, I'm doing like broccoli, like the frozen ones. Has like some Tuscan seasoning on it or something. So I'll throw that in there. And then I've been marinating my chicken in like a Chipotle marinade that I got offline. It's really freaking good.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason I can eat it all the time because it tastes amazing.
Okay.
But if it was just like plain ass chicken, like it might be different.
Yeah.
Because plain ass chicken gets boring.
Oh, yeah.
But marinated chicken, we're in business.
Yeah.
Like little crunchy pieces, dude.
Are you a turkey guy?
I'll eat turkey, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to make it.
Okay. That's something that Rachel has kind of put me on. I've been straying away from beef.
Really?
Yeah, I've been going toward turkey because it's so much leaner. Like, it's way leaner than beef.
I've been eating less steak simply because it's been so expensive.
That too.
Like, I used to be like literally eat a ribeye every night when I got home from the gym.
Really?
Not even joking, bro.
Oh, wow.
I'd buy like 2 of those 3 packs, the ribeyes, cook that shit when I get home from the gym. I mean, bro, what is better treat than coming home getting a big fat steak
Yeah.
and freaking like potatoes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that? But it is like so expensive now. So I'll just eat like chicken and rice after the gym, which is not like, I used to get excited about leaving, you know what I mean? But now I'm just like, fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to eat this after the gym. I want a steak.
Yeah, like pork tenderloin. And again, I was never really like a pork tenderloin type person. Another thing that Rachel kind of moved me toward because it actually tastes pretty good, like pork chops.
Dude, my dad can make some mean pork chops.
I don't think I ever really cared for pork chops growing
Really?
up. I think they tasted okay, but I was never like, oh man, some pork chops.
Did you put freaking Sweet Baby Ray's on that?
No.
There you, that's why, bro. My dad would make pork chops. He put Sweet Baby Ray's all over it. That's a good freaking day right there.
That's
dude.
crazy.
I thought that shit was steak when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is amazing. Well, I mean, you got to think feeding a whole family of 5, 6 people with
Yeah.
like real steak's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Pork chop's a lot cheaper.
And pork chops, again, they're like high in protein and really low in fat.
Yeah.
If you get the right ones,
Right.
And like a tenderloin, it's
I do get a little nervous though cooking pork, just because you have to like cook it like chicken, and I have very little experience cooking pork, so I just don't do it.
oh, okay.
Like I'll eat it. Like if someone makes it for me, I'll eat it. Like I just went to my buddy John's food truck. Do you know that dude I did the photography for?
Yeah.
Bro, he has a food truck. It's off of Winchester. Dude, it's so good. He gave me some pulled pork, and I probably scarfed it down in like 15 seconds. There was a whole big ass plate of it.
Oh man.
Completely destroyed it.
Now, yeah, that's like there's just so many foods that I've just kind of like, just altered how I think about them now.
Yeah.
I think I'm on board for the artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
I've heard different things. Like Lane Norton is a guy that me and Rachel that's our go-to person for like information and stuff like that, because he backs everything up with science. Like he'll talk about the studies and the trials that they've been doing. And some people are very anti-sweeteners because apparently like the human body was not meant to like digest those things. So it has to like figure out a way to digest it, but or figure out a way how to like get rid of it once you put it inside of you. But there's no evidence that artificial sweeteners are bad for you. There's only evidence that it's like you weren't really meant to eat it, but it's not really hurting you. So we just don't know. That's pretty much where we're at.
So you're just playing like rat in a laboratory right now.
Like right now, and there's just so good for you because there's no sugar in them. There's no calories.
Right.
Like, it's like, come on, guys.
Don't get all that inflammation.
Yeah. So it's like everybody wants to love them. We just don't know long term what it's doing to you. Because
we'll find out.
Like when was that Sweet and Low, when that was like giving everybody cancer.
Oh my God.
Like everybody had to like pull back on artificials. That's what really gave artificial sweeteners a bad name. Now, I'm sorry if it wasn't Sweet and Low, but I'm pretty sure it was Sweet and Low.
Sued.
Yeah, I know, right? That I just realized I don't have my Romera records up there. Messed up.
I'll do it all over.
I'll like green screen it. Just put it up there. But yeah, I think it was Sweet and Low. That was like that artificial sweetener that everybody puts in like their coffee and tea. That I think it was giving people cancer. So that gave artificial sweeteners a bad name.
That'll do it.
Man, it's 0 calories and no sugar. Like, and that's what's so great about that creamy thing I was telling you about. I put 5 grams. So the one I made the other day was like 240 grams of fat-free milk. Like 5 grams of like a pudding mix, of 0 calories, 0 sugar pudding mix, 5 grams of, or 8 grams of that pudding mix, 5 grams of a sweetener, which I use monk fruit.
That stuff's strong.
Yeah.
Jocko uses that in his Go drinks.
Okay. And then I put in like 200 grams of apples. So I just cut up apples and ended up blending them up. And something else. Oh, like cinnamon, and I actually used a pumpkin spice. I used pumpkin spice and put it in.
Is that time of year?
Yeah. And that's it. That was all the ingredients. Oh, and salt. I just literally blend that all up together. And then I freeze it, and then I put anything else, any other like toppings I want in there, and that's my ice cream.
That's crazy.
So I'm eating literally like the only sugar I'm eating is from apples.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Sounds pretty tasty.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the only calories that's in it is like from the milk. I put some cream cheese in there, which I could have just not did that because it actually didn't taste that good because it didn't blend up that well. I froze it, and I shouldn't have froze it. But yeah, I'm eating ice cream that has like no sugar and probably like 300 calories, and it's a whole pint. So
that's
it's
crazy.
Like that big. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah. So like, these things that we, as we're even like how we were just talking about plugins, like as technology advances, it's making our lives easier. And that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've seen that with us using like Chat GPT and all those kinds of things.
But on the flip side of that, it is not bad to go do some suffering,
Oh yeah,
do some hard shit
yeah, for sure.
that makes you a harder person.
Yeah,
That's the trick right there, dude. Like, use those things, but also do hard things that are smart to get you good results.
yeah. Like that video you sent me talking about we need more people like that. Like she was saying,
Oh yeah, that chick was awesome.
yeah, she was saying like use Chat GPT, use those things, but now you need to up the level of your skills.
Yes,
Like
that was
somebody,
such a great way of looking at that.
yeah, I saw somebody talking about women were traditionally like washing clothes and washing dishes and all that stuff, and it takes them all day to do that
Right.
stuff. And then somebody was like, "Oh, here's a washing machine. Here's
Right.
a dryer. Here's a dishwasher."
Save them all that time.
So, oh my God, you saved me so much time. Nah, since we saved you time, now you got to do all these other things. It's like now you're requiring people to do more since
Yeah.
you just saved them time to do what they were doing.
It's a busy world, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, the stuff we probably get done today probably would have taken some people months or weeks to do, you know?
Just watching that Alaska show,
Yeah.
like them, they said a 90-mile round trip. Like,
What was that show called? Life Below. We were just watching Life Below Zero, and some family had traveled like 90 miles to go fish in a freaking wood hut with their whole family. Like,
it's so crazy.
bro, I'm taking the truck to the lake.
Yeah. And if we can drive that, let's say you're driving 70 miles per hour, you can go 70 miles in like 1 hour. It probably took them like all day to make that round trip.
Yeah, how fast can you go on a snowmobile, bro? Like 40, 50?
Yeah, I would guess like 40,
In the blistering
maybe
cold,
50. I don't know.
negative 15 Alaska?
You don't even want to go that fast.
Heck no.
Your eyes get frozen.
Is there anything else we need to catch up on the DMG side of business?
I guess like, so what for music wise, like, do you have any real aspirations as far as like working with people or doing anything in music? I don't know. I don't know if you make those kind of goals. Like,
I mean, obviously it'd be cool to work with like huge people, but
yeah. But you don't have any goals to work with anybody like that?
I don't know. My dumb brain's like, if I just keep working hard and like because I'm like working with bigger and bigger people every month. I just feel like one day I'm gonna start working with cool, the people I want, like the people I listen to on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like there's obviously people I'd want to work with, but it's not like I have to do that. You know what I mean? My brain's more of just like I just want to be successful, make an impact on like who I'm working with now, and do what I can to make the best music, and then eventually all that stuff will just happen. That's just
Yeah.
gonna be a byproduct of doing the things I need to do. More than less, I just want to be successful, make money, and be able to, have cool ass experiences. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's any person right now that's like my goal is to work with them.
yeah,
I know some people I definitely would like to work with, but like I'm not currently in the mindset of I need to do this, this, and this to work with that person.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it'd be cool if I did, but I'm not like
yeah,
actively
like
trying.
those days will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To me, to actively try, you've now decided that's your trajectory of your career.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we've talked about it, but I just want to be successful. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, music's what I'm really good at, and like, this is obviously a path to success. But if we start doing this DMG stuff and the content creation, like, I'm down to just do whatever pays the bills and freaking, because I like doing all of it. You know what I mean? It's not like this route or this route is like one's better than the other. Like, they're both cool.
Yeah.
And I can continue to do both at any step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the cool thing about music production is like, you can be busy as heck doing something, but you can just go home and make music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think all that'll come with time, and I'm just super pumped up to, get this ball moving with all this other stuff.
Yeah. And it will definitely be something that I think we could do well with, just because, like, I don't know, like, other than like Charlie, I think I've sent you his stuff before. Like, he's a really good content creator, but I don't know many. And okay, Michael Butler Jr., He does some video like commercials and stuff for people, and he does a lot like really good photos. I know some great photographers in the area, but like real content creators, I don't know many at all. Like I said, Charlie's one. Charlie's really good, but I can't think of any really good.
Well, I think for like people like me, it's like sometimes it feels synthetic to make some of the stuff those people make because it feels like they're trying. And I've never been one of those people who's like, I want to try to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like I just want to be me, and hopefully that's cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if not, like I don't really care.
Something I do want to start changing for us is like, so we had Small Business Saturday, and we thought we were going to knock that out, like with like talking to these companies, but that's not working. So I think we should change that to like commercials. So like we pick a product and we just like make a commercial around it.
Oh, like a little 15,
like
30
what we
seconds.
did with like the Prime thing.
Yeah, I'm down.
Just start taking random products and make a commercial out of them.
Make stupid, funny little things.
Yeah, exactly. It could be anything.
Yeah, I'm down.
So I thought that would be a lot easier than the Small Business Saturday because we had to go to a business, make sure they're cool with it, do whatever we want to.
So it's a lot more time, yeah.
Yeah. When we could just literally film stuff around the house or, you know, buy a drink and
Yeah,
film
there's easy, quick
commercial.
stuff we can just punch out.
And it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what we did with the Prime thing, that was pretty cool. And then if we could do that for like certain drinks or whatever.
Dude, did you see that thing I sent you about the fence company?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, that was so funny. I was like, I would buy from these people if I needed a fence. I could see how that'd be turned off to like a lot of people, but that was hilarious.
And that's a thing that like you don't know. Like you have to establish that.
Like that was a thick gamble, bro.
Yeah.
That was a risky gamble.
You have to establish that like with your company. Like, are we a more lackadaisical company or are we one of those like super professional, whatever that means, type of companies? I think we're kind of in the middle. Like,
yeah, we're very professional,
right now,
but we're also not like corporate Karen.
Yeah, we want to make sure you realize we're not going to be like the dudes that go film in suits.
Yeah, because we're entrepreneurs and
Because some people do that. Like, I'm in like a video group on Facebook, and they talk about like, you know, what's the dress code at weddings. Some people say you should dress as if you're there for the wedding. But I would.
That's not a horrible idea.
Yeah, I mean it's a good idea, but just because like everybody's dressed up nice, like you should dress up nice.
But that's just like conforming to the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I personally would dress in whatever I felt like wearing because I'm there to video. I'm not there to be a part of the wedding. So you're paying me to video well.
Yeah, if you want to pay for the suit, we'll talk.
Yeah. So that's how I am. But yeah, I think everything we've done with Damage has been cool. People tell us all the time they love everything we're doing. I'll never forget when what's his name from Flirting from Sincerity was like, oh, and I love y'all's like DMG. It's like short for damage. He was like, that's so cool. And I was like, I had no idea until you just told me.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to steal that. Thank you. But yeah, like everything we've done about it. And then like getting it trademarked, that was pretty cool. Knowing that it's ours.
Yeah.
You know, like we can sue people for doing that.
Look out, everybody.
So yeah, it's a cool thing. And as I said, it's definitely taught me a lot about business.
Yeah, I think we've come freaking leaps and bounds from where we started, and I'm super stoked in the future. And I think there's so much more to learn, obviously. And I'm excited for all the growing pains we're going to experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like a lot of things we've dealt with have been like good problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like how do we do this so we make more money or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So I'm super stoked. I'm super fired up. 2024 is gonna be sick, dude.
Yeah. You got anything else? We can wrap this up.
Shoot, man. I don't know. I'm fucking super grateful that I get to freaking do this whole thing with you, and super grateful for all the people on the Come to DMG album. And that's about it, man. If you need a session, book online, Uproar Recording.
Uproar. What's you got anything new from Uproar?
I don't think so, man. I mean,
you've been using the Avalon. That's something new.
Oh yeah, we got the Avalon back in service.
Yeah.
We're about to get a Stam Audio.
Hopefully. he emailed today.
I saw that.
And I was like, oh my God.
We're about to get a new microphone. It should sound great. But yeah, I mean, everything's going well. Thank you all guys for everything.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.
Cool. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. See you next time.